Hello, Tom the Comic Book Nerd here, and as you've probably seen by the title, today I'm going to look at some comics. I have no idea what's in this box, so a little bit of transparency. This has been moved from one box to another, so I don't know what's in here. I took a very quick look at the first comic in the bunch, but not enough to actually process what it was. Let's have a look, shall we? It's exciting, it's like Christmas. Every time I get new comics, it's like Christmas. Ooh. So let's move this around a little bit. There's a lot here. Firstly, not a comic book, but something comic related. So let's see what we've got. I do have a mini. It's of Mary Jane. It's one of the Far From Home Spider-Man ones. And I have been following the Bombshell run. I've been thinking about doing a video on it. It's quite interesting. So let's see what we've got. Oh, awesome! So looks like a Harley Quinn there. So Harley Quinn is one of the first ones on there. Again, I don't know much about these series. It actually seems that this one's broken. So one of the pigtails have fallen off. So maybe I can see if I can glue that back together. But for now, she's going to just stand with one pigtail. And I will try and get some like Gorilla Glue to pop that pigtail back on. So I'll pop that pigtail there. That's already a good start. Looking at this box immediately, my first thought is it's going to become really apparent that I don't know old school comics. The first one is Silver Blade DC. So I don't know much about Silver Blade. This looks like it's the 6th issue. This looks really interesting. I like when comic books touch on monsters. I really liked the Marvel run of M13 where Blade took on Morbius and all the different like vampires of Marvel. So hopefully it's like that. It's like a Blade one. That would be really cool. So I'm really looking forward to delving into this one. I will include on all the comics the original runs and some cool information about them down here, wherever it appears on the screen. Next one. Artemis Requiem, again a DC title I'm not too familiar with. 1996 apparently, that's really cool. Again some more DC here. Major bummer, never heard of it, but the artwork certainly pops. It's like DC's version of Popeye. If I'm completely wrong in that, somebody let me know in the comments below. This is really cool. So that's issue number 11. We've got a book here. Again, it's a DC book, Breathtaker. I don't know much about this book either, but the artwork, if you can see that, if not, I'll flash some on screen. Really nice. Looking forward to delving into that one. And again, this is another 90s comic. So for all you 90s fanatics out there, I'm getting cultured up. Some more DC here. Gilgamesh, right. So this is a series I have heard about, finally. So I do know a little bit about this. Have seen it around before, I've seen artwork for it, I know the kind of general gist, so really looking forward to getting my hands on some of that. Some more DC books for us. The Prisoner. So, from what I know of this book, it is based on a television show in the 60s. That actually in the UK got a new show I think in 2000. I've never read the comic itself, but I know of the show. Both the 60s and the modern one, and I'm really looking forward to it. I believe as well, yeah, this is late 80s, early 90s, so good to have these era of comic books. Getting back to some single issue runs again, so we have Anima. Don't know too much about it, it's really interesting. What catches my eye about the back though, you might not be able to see that, is an advert for Babylon 5. So if anyone's ever watched that sci-fi show, that's a cool little bit of nostalgia for me. My mum still watches Babylon 5 to this day. She's a massive sci-fi nerd. So yeah, that just made me chuckle. And this is the first issue of Anima, so I can delve into the story straight away. That's really cool, really interesting. I've been meaning to get my hands on this next one. So it's Return of the New Gods. I know of the New Gods and I've heard really great things about the run, and I've always wanted some New Gods, so this is really cool. This is probably at the moment top pick from this. I'm really excited. If I wasn't filming, I'd go and read this straight away, so this is really cool. This is good. We still got plenty to go, by the way. I'm not even halfway through, so... Okay, so... Another DC run. This looks a little more modern. This looks cool. The Psycho. So, you know, it looks quite modern, but it's a 1991, so that's quite interesting. Even the artwork, I'll either flash some up from here or I'll put some up. Even the artwork kind of goes away from that modern 90s panelling, so that's really interesting, and I've never heard of this book. So this is book 2, so I might, if I enjoy this, I might try and fish out book 1. Usually when you're collecting comic books, issue 2 is usually the hard one to get, because comic book stores will get loads and loads of issue 1s, and then they'll find out who actually want it, and then they'll get less of issue 2, and then it'll kind of peter out again for 3 and 4, which is why usually if you're trying to find a back run, getting issue number 2, well, in the UK anyway, can be really difficult. So let's carry on, shall we? This is a big thick book, so maybe we are more than halfway through. Oh no, this has got several inside. None of these have been backed and boarded, and that's going to irritate some of you collectors out there. I probably will back and board quite a lot of the single issues. I mean, thank God for editing, otherwise this would be like the longest video I've ever made. Okay, so it seems here is a big collection of Scarlet. So we have issue number 1, 2, I'm hoping they're all in order, that'd be really cool. 3, 4, and 5. So I don't know too much about this, but which is a common phrase in this. 90s is very much where my knowledge kind of ends. I know a lot about the Silver Age. I know quite a bit about the Bronze Age, but the 90s were a time where I don't have many comics from that era. So this is really interesting. The artwork here is really cool. It seems to be about vampires and monsters, and it is a DC run. I've not heard many people talking about it, but it's, you know, quite visceral, really cool. I already said really cool, but I find it cool. Let's keep this gravy train going. So it seems there's 2 books here. Book 1 and Book 2 of Dead Man Exorcism. This looks fantastic. I know I keep saying that again, it's another DC, but I've just seen there's some Marvel here as well. There is a reason I keep saying and it's DC. There is some more different types of comics here. This is really cool. There's a lot of like really dark kind of 90s comics, which I dig. So some really good reading material here. I love it. Okay, Gru the Wanderer. It's got a little Spider-Man symbol in the corner there. I don't know too much about this one. It looks kind of cool. It's an 89, so it's a late 80s, early 90s run. And I think quite a few of these Marvel ones are. They're 80s, 90s. If you didn't have the Marvel stamp on it, I would think it would actually be like a Archie or Beano one. It's very similar in art style, not your typical Marvel art style. Also, there's some more Gru. So they don't seem to be in any particular order. This one is May 1989, and this one is 86 July. That's what I like about the 80s and 90s run comics. Some of them anyway actually have the date on. When you're going through comics and you're having to like check the back covers or the front covers for the copyright just to find out what era the comic is. It's just a little tiny gripe I have. It's kind of annoying. We have even more Gru. I've got a feeling that we're gonna end up with a lot of these Gru ones. It's so kind of Beano. It's almost like Spider-Man meets Dennis the Menace. I mean, I really like it. It's not something I thought was going to be in this box, so that's really cool. I'm going to say it's really cool a lot because I get jazzed about comics. I get some more Gru. If that doesn't look like the type of Beano comic, then nothing will satisfy you. Some more Gru. And a little bit more Gru. And we've got to something else. Now this looks wicked. Let's keep going, there's a few more. Ooh, I find one that's the old paper. I love finding comics that are the old paper. I'm always really scared about touching them. Yeah, so it's another 1980s run. I know for some people they'll be like, well, that's not really old, is it? But it was before I was born, so. So another interesting one, Daydreamers, from the pages of Generation X. What I find really interesting about this box is I'm coming across a lot of comics I've never come across before, especially, like I said, getting more 80s and 90s era comics is always really exciting, expanding that. A lot of my collection is either the Bronze Silver Age or it's 2000s plus. I have a lot of kind of modern comics, so it's really cool to bulk it up with the 90s. I know some people are not huge fans of 90s comics, but you've got to have a special connection with the era you were born, right? And lastly, I spotted this, and I'm really excited about this one. It's probably not in frame properly, but the Tomb of Dracula, and I've seen this cover all over the internet, and I've always wanted to read it. I find these kind of paper copies, as I said before, always really cool. So yeah, this is a 70s comic, so this is earlier than a lot of this stuff. Not the earliest comic I own, but yeah, it's really nice to have this piece of history. And for me, what makes me chuckle is the price point, 8p. In the 70s, that just really makes me laugh. Because now, you know, you're lucky to get a comic for £4.99 if you're getting some brand new ones, and then if you're collecting, you know, that 8p is suddenly £8,000. So that's always nice, and I love looking at all these old adverts and mail lists. So that is all the comics, and I'll leave you with the last thing in the box, which I'm very excited about. A Marvel Spider-Man mask, face mask, that I might apply to my face today after I have a bath, have a lovely time. Hopefully it actually looks like Spider-Man. Maybe I'll put a post on Twitter. I don't know. We'll see. But thanks to my brother-in-law. Thank you so much for watching. It's been really fun to look at these and actually realise how much I don't know about comic books. So I'm gonna change my name to Tom, the uneducated comic book nerd. So if you are an 80s and 90s collector, what do you think of the comics I've got here? Was there anything that you like grew up with, or anything that you're collecting? I'm going to have a really fun time going through all of these, adding them to my collection, getting them backed and boarded and ready to go. And I also have to fix poor Harley Quinn's pigtail before she goes up on display. I'm not sure where I'm going to put her at the moment. You guys can't see, but my studio is full of other stuff, and it's full of Lego. You get the nice kind of half, and then if I was to swing the camera around, you'd realise that as I said before, we've recently moved, and a lot of stuff is in here to kind of, before we can disseminate it, because we have got a lot less storage here. So you get the nice bit. I just want to say, before we close up, I hope you really enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. And I just want to say thank you. So I started almost a year ago now. It might be past a year by the time I put this up. Don't look at me like that, I'm a busy man. You know, for the first couple of months, my audience just like grew so much, so quickly, and then I took like a 7-8 month break, and you know, I barely even logged into YouTube. I just needed some time, some space, and I've been back, and my subscribers have been growing again, and you know, subscribers are growing again, people are watching the videos again, people are commenting again, and it's lovely. And we've just, as of me filming this, we hit 200 subs, which is really cool, especially considering I genuinely thought, I think I've talked about this in an earlier video, I think it was the 100 sub one, I genuinely thought that I would have a YouTube channel for like 5 years, I'd barely go on it, and it'd just be my mum or my brother going, "Woo, you've got a new video out," like every once in a while. To be able to connect with people about comic books, have conversations, learn. I mean, before this I was very much some of the Marvel is the best, and now, you know, I see it as it is. Comics are comics. It's been great getting all these recommendations from DC as well. It's been great delving into indie buys. I've bought comics I would never buy outside of the channel and have loved them to death, and it's really expanded my comic book collection. And a key thing for this channel has always been to get people to encourage people to read comic books and enjoy comic books, because there's something for everybody. And it's done that for me. It's actually changed my perspective too. So, huge thank you. Let's keep going, let's keep growing. If you love my content and you want to share it with friends, that'd be amazing. If you want to subscribe, like. If you want to talk to me in the comments, I try my absolute best to try and get to everybody. I love having conversations, you know, but sometimes the more comments, it's hard. I do miss people sometimes, but I do try. I try my hardest. That's all I can do. Okay, guys. Again, it's a bye from me. I'll see you later. Thank you for coming to my corner of the YouTube. Bye.